Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I have my first Shop My Stash of 2021. So the way that I like to do these is I will take you through my collection, pick out enough Shop My Stash items for a full face, and then we will do a full face of those products in the second half of the video. So this is not like a monthly makeup drawer type situation. I like to give myself like free roam of my collection throughout the month. I don't really like to pick out a curated monthly makeup drawer. I used to do it that way and I just kind of got bored of it. So this first drawer is kind of like my everyday makeup drawer, but it's mainly Project Pan items and products that I just already use every day, like eye primer, brow products, mascara. So I will probably pick from here. Sometimes I like to take a break from my Project Pan items in these videos, but I think this time around, since my Project Pan was just introduced, which I'll link down below if you missed it, I'm still like feeling pretty pumped about my Project Pan items, so I probably will pick from here, but I think I want to start with my non-Project Pan drawers first, and then we'll come back to this one. Alright, so this is my base drawer. I'm trying to figure out what I want to use for my base, if I want to stick to my Project Pan products, because I do have these three products in my Project Pan, the Jordana primer, the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation, and the Too Faced Born This Way. I think I will use this primer. I'm just really trying to use this up. And then I kind of want to try like mixing this foundation with another one, just because it's always fun to just kind of play around with different foundation pairings. So let's try this with, debating between these two. These are both kind of lighter coverage, the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk and the new Urban Decay Hydromaniac. Let's try it with the CoverGirl Clean Fresh, since this is a Shop My Stash, so I do want to focus on older products, and this one I haven't used in a while. And then for concealer, I think I will just stick to my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, because once again, I'm trying to pan this one. For setting spray, let's do this Urban Decay Chill setting spray. Still kind of trying to figure out my thoughts on this, but I do think I like it. It's definitely more of a setting spray rather than like a finishing spray, but I do enjoy that. So next we have my cheek drawer. This is always kind of stuffed to the brim. But for powder, I'm pretty much these days only using powder on my under eyes. And I think I'm going to pick out this Jordana Forever Flawless pressed powder in light beige. This works well for the under eyes. Lately I have been getting more into using pressed powder on my under eyes. I feel like I'm not as partial to loose powders as I used to be. So let's take this one, because this is one that I'm sort of trying to use up this year, kind of unofficially trying to hit pan on this. I do want this to be kind of a cool wintry look, so I think I am going to skip my Wet n Wild Rosé Champagne blush that's in my Project Pan, and maybe opt for one of my cooler blushes. Probably one of these, or perhaps my favorite go-to Cloven Hallow. Let's do the Milani one, since this is quite old and I do want to try to get as much use out of this as I can. I think I will do cream bronzer today, and this is actually a eyeshadow that I use as cream bronzer, the e.l.f. Soft Beige Matte Eyeshadow. This is in my Project Pan. For highlight, I'm thinking I want to go kind of pink toned for the highlight, so I think I'm going to use this ColourPop Super Shock highlight in the shade Monster. This is kind of a duochrome highlight, but it is rather subtle, and I think this is a really pretty kind of wintry blush that goes well with like cool toned pink blushes like this one. So I think that's going to be it for this drawer. Let's see, this is like single eyeshadows and liners. I don't really think I want anything from this drawer, at least for now. I want to pick eyeshadow first, actually. The first palette that I am drawn to right now is the Shared Planet Polar Bear palette. I think this is one of the ones I used in my last Shop My Stash, but I am just itching to use it again because it's just such a frosty kind of wintry palette. Not that I can't use it all year long, but I'm especially drawn to it right now. So I want to use this. And then I'm also feeling the itch to get back into single shadows. I actually just placed an order, my first purchase of 2021, on Clarity Cosmetics website, and did order a few new singles. I cannot wait for them to arrive. But point being, I'm kind of wanting to get back into these. I feel like I hardly used these in 2020. For some reason, I was just in more of a palette kind of mood, but I want to pick out some from here that I feel like would complement the Shared Planet palette to also work from today, and then put them in this quad. Definitely feel like Glass Bull has to be chosen. This is such a beautiful duochrome shadow. Maybe I'll grab this royal blue from ColourPop. This is Backstage. This is kind of a silvery blue. This is the shade Beam Me Up from ColourPop. I think I'm gonna grab this mint shade. This is La Playa from ColourPop. I feel like mint is kind of trendy right now, especially with those new e.l.f. like mint quads that came out. So I grabbed that one as well because I do feel like that's kind of wintry and it could play nicely. I'm not sure that I'll use all 4 of these shades, but I want to try to use them to go with this palette. So that's going to be my eyeshadow picks. All right, moving to my lip drawer. Where do we want to go with this? I've really been into this e.l.f. Seriously Satin Lipstick in Cream. I actually don't love the formula of this. I feel like it's a little dry, but I really like the shade. That plus the e.l.f. Pink Cosmo Gloss is such a pretty combo, and I may deepen up my lips with the Jordana lip liner in Rockin' Rose, just for like a slightly brownish deepener kind of color. And then as another option, I am also going to grab the Madame Glam lipstick in Fig. I kind of rediscovered this recently, and this is such a pretty, like you've just been eating a popsicle color. I don't know how else to describe it. Also, I think such a pretty winter kind of shade. It's a little bit on the sheer side and it's just very comfortable. So those will be my 2 options, kind of depending on where the eye look goes. That's it for that. So from here, I think I'm still good on this drawer. Now, revisiting this top drawer again, I'm also going to grab my brow products, my eyelid primer. I'm trying out this ABH one. I've got this mini that was half air, actually. Actually more like 2/3 air. So that's pretty much how much it came with, in case you were wondering. It's still probably gonna last like 3 years though, I'm not gonna lie. Gonna grab my contour, my Jordana contour that I'm panning, my mascara, and also my Jordana eyeliner pencil. Okay, I'm grabbing almost everything here. And then I'm also gonna grab the ColourPop Super Shock in Liberty that I'm panning. I've got some ambitious usage goals for this. I want to use it 15 times this month, which is a lot. I may end up using this as like an eyeshadow base. I'm just going to try to incorporate it in some way into this look because I think it will go nicely with the other shadows I've chosen. These other 3 things I will go ahead and leave in here. All right, so this is my little box of products I've chosen, and now let's go ahead and get into the full face. So starting out with this Jordana primer, honestly just trying to use this up. There's nothing that remarkable about it. Don't really feel like it makes that big of a difference, but I'm using it up anyway. If anything, it's just like a little bit hydrating, I guess. I think I'm actually going to do my eye makeup before I do my face makeup, so that'll give my primer plenty of time to set in. So I have, like I said, the Shared Planet Polar Bear palette, the ColourPop Super Shock in Liberty, along with 4 ColourPop singles. Almost forgot, need to do primer first. This is a little bit of a runnier primer than what I'm used to. Not that it's like straight up liquid, but it's definitely a little bit thinner than others, but it's also really pigmented. Like it's got this pretty thick like white or like really light base to it that definitely does kind of just cancel out your lid. I just can't get over how little product is actually in here. Like it looks like I've been using this for 3 months and I've used it like 3 times. So I'm not really sure where this look is going to go, but I do think I want Avalanche to play a pretty significant role in the look just because that is such a pretty shade. But I'm going to go ahead and start with this like light beige color. That's kind of a transition color on me, and just kind of get the crease started. I'm not doing a 1 month 1 palette this month. I just wanted to take a little break from all eyeshadow projects for a little while. But if I were still doing my 1 month 1 palette this month, this would have been the palette that I'd chosen just because it's just a perfect palette for the winter months. And I love the way that this shade works with my skin tone. It almost turns a little bit rosy on me, which I like. It's like a rosy grayish. Next, I am going to dip into Avalanche, and I do prefer applying these shimmers with my finger. That is how I'm able to get the most intense color payoff. So this is kind of like a duochrome aqua blue, and it's almost got like a lavender shift to it. So pretty. I am going to apply this to my lid. I also kind of want to layer a little bit of Glass Bowl, that ColourPop shade. This is also a duochrome. It has sort of a reddish brown base and also like an aqua blue shift. So I feel like it might look really cool next to that Avalanche shade. I'm going to apply this to maybe the outer part of my lid. Next I'm going to go into La Playa, the mint green, and maybe just apply this to... Do I want to apply this to the center of my lid or the inner corner? I think I'm going to do the center of my lid with this. It's going to be a very shifty kind of look. fun. All right, for the inner corner, actually I'm gonna wait to do the inner corner after I've got my like concealer on and stuff, but I'm gonna go back to my fluffy brush and just dip back into Cub, get everything blended. You wanna help me blend? You're so sweet. Who wants to adopt Leia? This is my foster kitty. Anybody in Georgia? If you're looking to adopt a very sassy, very sweet black cat, I can hook you up, just saying. Well, that is a fun look. It's not finished yet, but we've kind of laid the groundwork, and I think that's pretty fun. So we're probably gonna come back to these eyeshadows, but I'm gonna go ahead and do my face makeup, and then we'll kind of see what the look needs. A lot of people have asked me if I would adopt Leia myself. I don't think so. I've said before I would be open to a foster fail if it was like the perfect match, and I just got too attached and couldn't let go, but I don't really feel like Leia is my cat, if that makes sense. I don't feel the same connection with her that I do with like Heidi. And also I do think that she would probably be best suited as the only pet in a home. I think she'd be happiest that way. I know I can't say for sure. I feel like she could adapt with other cats, but we haven't introduced her to the other two cats yet, just because, I mean, she's definitely not gonna be here forever, and she doesn't really like the other two cats. She gets very hissy and territorial when she does like see them when we open the door. Depending how long I have her, we may introduce them, but you know, I don't want to start the process of introducing them because it's a very gradual process that you're supposed to do, and then her get adopted in the middle of it, you know? So for now, we're just keeping them separate. She's got this whole room and bathroom to herself, and the other cats have the whole rest of the apartment to themselves. So definitely a very temporary foster type situation for her right now. But yeah, a lot of people have asked if I would adopt her because, you know, you guys see her snuggling up with me in my videos and in my Instagram stories and stuff, and she is very sweet, but she has a lot of kind of behavioral quirks that I think would make her best suited for like a one cat household, and you know, somebody that can really give her a lot of individual attention, and like a very quiet, peaceful kind of household would probably be, not that my household is pretty quiet and peaceful, but I feel like she'd be happiest, and I think the shelter agrees that she'd be happiest just on her own without other cats competing with her territory, so. But I will miss her very much when she does get adopted, because she's an angel. So for foundation, like I said, I'm pairing the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation, which is my current Project Pan one, with the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk, which is definitely more on the light coverage side. And I'm liking the pair so far. It definitely shears out the coverage a bit to mix it with the lighter coverage CoverGirl one. So there's that. And then for concealer, this is my Project Pan concealer. And lately what I've been doing is taking whatever concealer is left on my sponge from my under eyes and just kind of dotting over any like blemishes that I do want to just amp up the coverage on a little bit without like caking on a bunch of concealer. And I really like that. For my cream contour, my little Jordana stick, this is almost gone. Oh, I did get some Sigma brushes for Christmas. I'm not using any of them right now. A set of Sigma face brushes as a Christmas gift from my lovely Padres, and I'm really liking them so far. Let's see, which ones can I use right now? I actually really like the foundation brush. This is the F80 Flat Kabuki. I have not liked a foundation brush in a very long time, but this one actually does not seem to make my foundation streaky like a lot of brushes do, so that was impressive. It came with a large angled contour, which this I think will be more for powder contour or even blush. The foundation brush, a large powder brush, and then two kind of domed or two kind of tapered brushes. One is actually a concealer brush, and the other is a highlighter brush. So anyway, I wanted to mention that because I know I've talked a lot about wanting to kind of get some nicer brushes in my collection, and I'm really enjoying these so far. They feel very well made. Then for the cream bronzer slash eyeshadow, I just like to dot this just above my contour. A little on the bridge of the nose, and a little bit around the forehead. Alright, time to set those under eyes. So this is that Jordana Forever Flawless Pressed Powder. I think I'm going to use this tapered highlighter brush from Sigma. It's a little smaller. Normally I use like the e.l.f. small tapered brush, which is just a little bit bigger and fluffier. I think I've decided, even though I did have 2 powders in my video about products I want to use up in 2021 that are kind of on my radar to include in my project pan. I had this powder and the e.l.f. Prime and Stay Finishing Powder. At least for now, I'm thinking I'm just going to keep these out of my project pan and sort of unofficially work on them, because I do feel like when they are in my project pan, I feel pressured to use maybe more powder than I would normally use. Not that I'm overusing it or wasting it, but like I have kind of come to realize I don't really like setting my entire face with powder. And I really just like using it on the under eyes or maybe in like targeted areas. And I probably wouldn't see a ton of progress if I put them in a project pan without using them all over my face. So I think I'd rather just keep them out of the project pan and maybe just try to hit pan on them independently of my project pan. But that may change later in the year. But right now I'm just going through kind of a phase where I don't really like using a ton of powder. So, all right, brows are done. Now getting into the blush. This is the Milani Soft Rose. No, Romantic Rose. Why did I say Soft Rose? Oh, because I have a Soft Rose gloss from Milani. That's where I got that. I feel like the little hole has gotten bigger. If you didn't know, this blush is hollow, and that's why it looks so weird. But I do feel like the hole has expanded. So weird to say that. Next, for my ColourPop Monster highlighter. This is such a pretty highlighter. I'm gonna put that on my cheekbones. Alright, so revisiting the eye look, I do want to go into this Polar shade. It looks white, but it does have a blue shift to it, and that is going to be my inner corner highlight. Oh, it's so pretty. It doesn't look like much in the pan, but once it's on, it's wow. I was thinking about using the dark blue single, but I think I'm actually going to go into the shade Sub-Zero, which is this kind of deep chocolate brown color, and use that on my upper lash line, just kind of smudge it along the lash line to add some definition. I don't really want to add too much more color because I'm really liking the soft kind of pastel minty blue look. And I'm going to tightline with this eyeliner pencil that's in my project pan. Mainly just to give the lashes a thicker kind of look. I am going to just add a little bit more of Avalanche to my lid, just because I like that shade so much and I want it to really stand out. Now I'm going to go back into the mint green La Playa because I don't want that to get lost either. Probably just going to redefine all of those lid shades. I don't have to do this, but I just want them to be as loud and proud as they can be. I really like keeping my eye looks really light. Like, I feel like there's a tendency to want to build up like deep shades in the outer corner, but sometimes I like just the subtlety of lighter colors all over my lid and not really feeling the need to add any depth to the look outside of maybe a slightly shadowy transition color like this one that I'm using right now. Just going to finish off the eye look with my Marcel Volume Extension Electric Mascara, and darn it, I forgot to do my setting spray before my mascara and eyeliner, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that now and just try to be really careful with it. Try not to blink too hard. This is that Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. I think they discontinued this. Okay. Very refreshing. It's supposed to have some kind of cooling feel. I don't feel like it feels any more cooling than any setting spray. I mean, obviously setting spray is going to make your skin feel cooler right away because you're literally spraying your face with liquid. I do like that it gives me a little bit of a sheen and it just kind of melts everything together. I am really liking this eye look. I mean, it's just so shifty. It's almost like you can't really tell exactly how many shades I'm wearing, but they all fade into each other in such a sneaky way. Fun! What a fun look. Okay, I'm happy. I didn't end up using Liberty, but that's okay. I don't want to force myself to use it. So between the two lip options, I had the light pink nude and the berry. I think I'm gonna go, I usually go with the nude whenever I'm wearing any kind of color on my eyes. Maybe this would work. Let's try the berry, because I know I have a tendency to just stay in the safe zone and not use a bold color if I have the option of a nude, but let's try the berry and we can always take it off and go to the nude pink if we want to. That is a really pretty color, but I think I am gonna switch to the lighter nude shade just because I feel like it kind of makes the look a little too busy, if that makes sense. Like, I kind of just want the eye to be the main attraction here. I will go ahead and line my lips with Rock and Rose, but mainly focusing on the outer parts of my lips. All right, now for e.l.f. Cream. Like I said, love the color, don't love the formula, and I don't know if it's just the lighter shade, like maybe I'd like the formula more if it was a deeper shade, but because this is such a light, like verging on concealer lips sort of shade, I feel like it's a little dry. Like, they call it a satin formula, but I would say that's matte. But that doesn't really matter because I usually like to top that with a gloss anyway, so that kind of takes away the problem of it being too dry. So this is the e.l.f. Lip Plumping Gloss in Pink Cosmo. Mainly focusing that on the center. That was really fun. I am pleased with the eye look especially. This palette, I feel like I have not been giving it enough use lately, but this Avalanche shade is so pretty. It looks like just any shimmery aqua blue in the pan, but it is actually so dimensional. I only used 4 of the shades in here: Cub, Polar, Sub-Zero, and Avalanche. And then I used 2 of the 4 singles that I pulled out, so I didn't use all of them. I didn't know if I would end up using all 4 because that would be a lot of eyeshadow. I hope you enjoyed this Shop My Stash video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I'll also link below all my previous Shop My Stash videos if you're in the mood for this kind of video. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you're not already subscribed, I'd love to have you stick around for more videos, and hopefully I will talk to you very soon in my next one. Bye.